The Alien War Council chamber was silent except for the low hum of machines. A giant holographic screen floated in the center of the room. On it, the blue planet Earth turned slowly in space. High Lord Karex stood with his hands behind his back. He was tall, armored, and covered in silver battle marks. Around him sat 12 alien generals. They had destroyed many worlds before. To them, this was just another victory waiting to happen. One general zoomed in on Earth's defense fleet. Small human ships floated in orbit. Compared to the alien warships, they looked weak. Thin armor. Basic weapons. Old engine trails. A soft laugh filled the chamber. Is this their full defense? One general asked. Yes, replied another. This is everything they have. Karex studied the screen carefully. He did not laugh. But he was not worried either. Our fleet outnumbers them 5-1, he said calmly. Our weapons are stronger. Our shields are advanced. This war will last 3 minutes. The generals nodded. Some even smiled. Far above Earth, the alien armada waited in formation. Thousands of massive warships blocked the stars. Their cannons were charged. Their shields were active. Their engines glowed with power. On the human side, there was no panic. No random movement. The Terran fleet held position in perfect lines. Small ships compared to the alien giants, but steady. Inside the alien flagship, sensors scanned the human formation. Humans are not retreating, an officer reported. Karex narrowed his eyes. Are they preparing to surrender? No surrender signal detected. Another officer spoke. Energy levels increasing across human ships. The generals leaned forward. Weapons? One asked. The officer paused, confused. No, High Lord. Not weapons. Then what? Karex demanded. Engines. The room grew quiet. On the holographic display, every human ship began glowing brighter. Blue light gathered at the rear of each vessel. Not random. Not chaotic. Perfect timing. Why would they power engines before weapons? One general whispered. They plan to run, another said confidently. They know they cannot win. Karex watched carefully. Something did not feel right. The human fleet was not turning away. They were not scattering. They were tightening formation. Distance to enemy? Karex asked. Within full attack range. Fire, he ordered. The alien fleet moved first. Massive beams of red energy shot across space toward the human lines. The attack was bright enough to light the darkness around Earth. But just before the beams connected, the human ships moved. Not away. Forward. Every ship accelerated at the exact same moment. Alien targeting systems struggled to adjust. They are charging straight at us, a general shouted. That is suicide, another said. Yet the humans did not fire back. No missiles. No lasers. Only speed. Inside the alien command center, confusion spread. Why are they not attacking? Karex demanded. Unknown. The distance between the two fleets shrank fast. Then something strange happened. A strange wave of energy pulsed from the center of the human formation. Not an explosion. Not a weapon blast. More like space itself was shaking. Alien sensors flickered. Energy reading spike, an officer yelled. How much? Karex asked. The officer's voice trembled. It is off the scale. A countdown suddenly appeared on the alien sensor screen. 50 seconds. No one in the chamber understood where it came from. It is coming from the human fleet, the officer said. Is it a bomb? One general asked. No, it is synchronized across all ships. Karek stared at the timer. The humans were still moving forward. Still not firing. Still perfectly calm. Scan for hidden weapons, Karek ordered. We are scanning. The timer dropped. 0:42 seconds. A quiet tension filled the alien war room. The earlier laughter was gone. High Lord, an officer whispered, the humans, they look prepared. Karek clenched his jaw. They are weak, he said firmly. They know nothing of true war. But even as he spoke, doubt began to grow. The Terran fleet moved like they had planned this moment for years. Not desperate. Not afraid. Ready. The timer continued to fall. 0:35 seconds. For the first time, the Alien War Council felt something they had not felt in many years. Uncertainty. The timer continued to fall. 0:34 seconds. Inside the alien flagship, the air felt heavier. The earlier confidence had faded. High Lord Karek stood motionless, staring at the holographic screen. The Terran fleet was now dangerously close, yet still silent. No weapons fire from the humans, an officer reported. That is impossible, one general muttered. No species faces death without fighting. Karek's voice was sharp. Increase firepower. Full barrage. The alien armada obeyed instantly. Thousands of war cannons lit up the darkness. Red and gold beams crossed space like burning rivers. Missiles followed, each one strong enough to break a small moon. The attack was unstoppable. It should have ended everything. But at 0:29 seconds, the human fleet vanished. Not exploded. Not scattered. Gone. Every single Terran ship disappeared at the exact same moment. Alien weapons tore through empty space. Silence. The general stared in disbelief. Where are they? Karek demanded. Sensors show nothing, the officer replied. No debris. No wreckage. Scan wider. We are scanning. The timer continued. 0:25 seconds. Suddenly, an alien destroyer at the edge of the formation exploded. No warning. No energy buildup. It simply split in half and vanished in a flash of white light. What destroyed it? A general shouted. No incoming fire detected. Another ship disappeared. Then another. Panic began spreading through alien communication channels. Fleet 7 reports heavy damage. Fleet 12 is losing shields. We cannot see the enemy. Karek felt anger rising. Impossible. Nothing can strike without being detected. Then space itself began to flicker. Tiny distortions appeared around the alien fleet. Small tears in reality. They opened and closed in less than a second. From one distortion, a human ship appeared. It fired once. A focused blue beam pierced an alien cruiser and cut it clean in half. Before alien weapons could respond, the human ship vanished again. Tracking systems cannot lock, an officer yelled. They are jumping, another said. No, Karek replied slowly. This is not normal jump travel. 0:18 seconds. Human ships began appearing everywhere. Above alien battleships. Below heavy carriers. Between tight formations. They stayed only for a heartbeat. Just long enough to fire one precise shot. Then gone again. Alien targeting computers failed. By the time a lock was achieved, the human ship had already disappeared. Shields are failing across the fleet, an officer cried. The alien armada tried to regroup. Ships attempted to spread out, but every movement created more openings. The humans moved with perfect timing. It was not chaos. It was a pattern. 0:12 seconds. 30% of the alien fleet was gone. The War Council chamber was no longer calm. Generals shouted orders over one another. Fear replaced pride. "How are they doing this?" one asked. An officer finally spoke with shaking hands. "They are not traveling through normal space. They are stepping outside of it, for less than a second." Carex turned slowly. "Explain." "It appears they enter a phased layer of space. They reappear anywhere within short range. Our sensors cannot track them because they are not fully here." Another explosion shook the display. 009 seconds. Half the alien fleet was destroyed. The same fleet that had crushed empires. The same fleet that had never known defeat. Carex whispered, almost to himself, the humans were never running. 007 seconds. More distortions opened. More precise blue beams fired. Alien ships burned in silence. Retreat orders were sent, but escape paths were already blocked. Human ships appeared ahead of fleeing vessels and ended them instantly. 004 seconds. The alien flagship trembled as nearby ships exploded. Communication lines went dark one by one. The once great armada was now scattered wreckage. 002 seconds. Only the flagship and a handful of damaged ships remained. The humans did not rush. They moved with control. With discipline. 001 second. Every remaining alien warship was surrounded by flickering distortions. Midnight. The timer disappeared. And the galaxy changed forever. When the timer reached 0, silence spread across the battlefield. The alien fleet was gone. Not damaged. Not retreating. Gone. Wreckage floated around the alien flagship like broken metal rain. Fires burned in silent space. Signals of distress echoed, then slowly faded into nothing. Inside the flagship, no one spoke. High Lord Carex stared at the screen. His proud armada, the strongest force in their empire, had been erased in less than a minute. "Damage report," he said quietly. The response came weak. "We are the only capital ship left. Engines at 30%. Weapons at 50%. Shields failing." The generals who once laughed now looked pale. Then space rippled again. Blue distortions opened around the flagship. One by one, human ships appeared in a perfect circle formation. Smaller. Simpler. But steady. They did not fire. They just waited. Carex felt something new. Not fear of death. Fear of understanding. The humans had controlled every second of the battle. They had not rushed. They had not celebrated. They had executed. A signal came through. Incoming transmission from Terran Command. One general growled, "Ignore it." Carex raised his hand. "No. Open it." The holographic screen shifted. A human appeared. Admiral Reyes. His face was calm. No anger. No smile. Just control. "You attacked without warning," Reyes said evenly. "You were told to turn back." Carex replied with forced strength. "You are weaker. You always were. What trick is this?" Reyes did not react. "This is not a trick. It is preparation." The alien generals listened carefully. "For 20 years, Reyes continued, we studied your empire. Your movement patterns. Your weapon systems. Your command behavior." Carex's eyes narrowed. "Impossible. We never allowed contact." "You did not need to," Reyes replied. "Your victories were public. Your pride was loud. You believed fear was enough to stop others from studying you." The chamber grew silent again. Reyes continued, "We knew we could not win a direct battle. You had more ships. Stronger armor. Bigger weapons. Then how, one alien general demanded. Reyes answered simply. We changed the battlefield. The screen showed brief footage. Human ships testing unstable space fields. Failed experiments. Explosions. Years of work. We developed microphase shift travel. We step outside normal space for less than 1 second. Long enough to reposition. Long enough to strike. Carex realized the truth. That strange energy pulse at the beginning. The engine power-ups. The countdown. It was not fear. It was synchronization. You planned this moment, Carex said quietly. Yes, Reyes replied. Because we knew you would attack. Around the flagship, human ships held their positions. Weapons charged but steady. You could destroy us now, Carex said. Why wait? Reyes looked directly at him. Because this was never about destroying you. The alien generals looked confused. This was about sending a message. Another ripple of blue light flashed as more human ships arrived from Earth orbit. Reinforcements. Silent. Organized. Reyes continued, you believed strength was size. You believed power was noise. You believed fear was control. Carex had no answer. Reyes spoke one final time. Humans are not the strongest species. We are not the largest empire. But when we are pushed, we adapt. Outside, human ships slowly moved closer to the alien flagship. Perfect spacing. Perfect timing. No anger. Only precision. Carex lowered his head slightly. 50 seconds, he whispered. Reyes nodded once. 50 seconds was enough. The transmission ended. Inside the alien flagship, the generals finally understood something they had never considered before. Humans did not win because they were stronger. They won because they learned faster. Outside, the circle of Terran ships tightened. The war was already over. But the lesson had just begun. The alien flagship floated in broken silence. Human ships surrounded it in a perfect sphere. Blue engine lights glowed softly in the darkness. No one fired. No one rushed. Inside the flagship, High Lord Carex stood still, staring at the tactical display. Every red mark that once showed his fleet was gone. Only one symbol remained. His own ship. Why are they waiting? One general whispered. Carex did not answer. Another transmission request appeared on the screen. Terran command. Carex nodded slowly. Open it. Admiral Reyes appeared again. Calm. Focused. Unshaken. You are defeated, Reyes said simply. Power down your weapons. One general shouted, we will fight to the end. Carex raised his hand, silencing him. You could have destroyed us with the fleet, Carex said to Reyes. But this technology, you kept it hidden. Why? Reyes did not hesitate. Because we knew this day would come. The alien generals exchanged confused looks. For years, Reyes continued, your empire expanded. Every species that resisted was erased. You believed no one could match your strength. Carex spoke coldly. And you believed you could? No, Reyes answered honestly. We believed we had to think differently. The screen behind Reyes shifted. Old footage appeared. Alien fleets attacking distant civilizations. Cities burning. Worlds falling. You broadcast your victories as warnings, Reyes said. But to us, they were lessons. Carex's jaw tightened. You studied us. Yes. Spied on us. No, Reyes replied. We observed you. There is a difference. Inside the alien chamber, silence grew heavy again. Reyes continued. You always attacked the same way. Overwhelming numbers. Direct force. Psychological fear. You never changed tactics because you never needed to. Carex realized the painful truth. They had grown comfortable. We built something you would never expect, Reyes said. Not bigger ships. Not stronger shields. Phase shift combat, Carex murmured. Yes. The human admiral leaned forward slightly. You saw small ships. You saw simple weapons. You thought we were weak. That was our shield. One of the alien generals spoke softly, almost to himself. You wanted us to underestimate you. Yes. Reyes' voice remained steady. We allowed limited scans. We allowed minor encounters. We let your spies see what they wanted to see. Old engines. Basic weapons. Average fleet size. Carex stared at the screen. You lied. Reyes shook his head. We survived. Outside, more Terran ships moved into formation. Not aggressively. Not nervously. Perfect control. You charged engines before weapons, Carex said slowly. You wanted us to notice. Yes, Reyes answered. We wanted you focused on the wrong thing. The countdown. The pulse. The sudden disappearance. It had all been part of the plan. You could have ended us instantly, Carex said. Why 50 seconds? Reyes paused. Because wars teach lessons, he said. And lessons must be understood. The alien generals listened carefully. If we erased you without explanation, Reyes continued, another empire would rise. Another fleet would believe size equals strength. Carex finally understood. This was a demonstration. Yes. The human admiral's eyes were steady. We needed the galaxy to see that brute force is no longer enough. Inside the flagship, systems began to power down. Weapons dimmed. Shields weakened. Carex gave the order quietly. Stand down. The alien crew obeyed. For the first time in their history, they surrendered. Outside, human ships did not celebrate. They did not cheer. They simply adjusted formation and secured the battlefield. Reyes spoke one final time. You came to prove your dominance. Carex lowered his head slightly. And you proved ours, he admitted. Reyes shook his head again. No. We proved something else. What? Carex asked. That survival belongs to those who adapt. The transmission ended. Around the alien flagship, the Terran fleet remained calm and controlled. The aliens had believed strength meant power. They never saw the truth. Real strength was preparation. And they had walked directly into it. The battlefield around Earth was quiet now. Broken alien ships floated like metal shadows. Small fires burned and slowly died in the darkness. Human repair vessels moved carefully between the wreckage, rescuing survivors and collecting damaged parts. The Terran fleet still surrounded the alien flagship, but their weapons were no longer glowing. The fight had ended. The message had not. Inside the alien flagship, High Lord Carex stood in silence. His armor felt heavier than ever before. Around him, his generals avoided eye contact. They had entered this system with pride. Now they waited for judgment. On Earth, world leaders gathered in a secure command center. Large screens showed the battlefield. Some faces showed relief. Others showed disbelief. 50 seconds, one leader whispered. Admiral Reyes stood at the center of the room. It is not over, he said calmly. Now comes the important part. He turned to a communications officer. Open a full-spectrum broadcast. Moments later, a signal shot out across nearby star systems. It reached trade routes, hidden colonies, distant outposts, and watching civilizations. Every species that had feared the alien empire received the same message. The screen showed the battle. The countdown. The vanish. The precise strikes. Then Admiral Reyes appeared. His voice was steady. "This is a message from Earth." Across the galaxy, curious eyes watched. For years, many civilizations have suffered under the rule of those who believe strength is measured in size and fear. The image shifted to show the alien fleet before the battle. Massive. Dominant. They believed they were unstoppable. The recording replayed the 50 seconds. Not fast. Not dramatic. Clear and simple. Ship after ship falling. Perfect timing. Clean strikes. No chaos. Reyes continued. "Humanity does not seek conquest. We do not seek control. But we will not accept extinction." On the alien flagship, Carex watched the same broadcast. He understood what this meant. The Empire's reputation was shattered. "We could have destroyed every surviving ship," Reyes said. "We chose not to." The screen showed human vessels holding position instead of firing the final shot. Because power without control is destruction. And destruction is easy. A pause. Control is harder. Across nearby systems, smaller civilizations began sending signals. Some were confused. Some were hopeful. Some were afraid of this new human power. Reyes finished the message. "If you come in peace, you will find peace. If you come with force, we will end the fight quickly." The broadcast ended. Silence filled the command center on Earth. One officer asked quietly, "Do you think they will listen?" Reyes looked at the screen showing the captured flagship. "They will." Inside the alien ship, Carex finally spoke to his crew. "Transmit surrender confirmation to Terran Command." The officer hesitated. "High Lord, our Empire." "Our Empire survives," Carex interrupted. "Because they allowed it." He looked out at the human ships surrounding them. "We believed fear made us strong," he said softly. "We were wrong." Back on Earth, human citizens watched news reports of the battle. There was no cheering in the streets. No celebration fireworks. Only quiet understanding. They had faced something stronger. And they had survived by thinking smarter. The Terran fleet slowly began escorting the alien flagship away from Earth's orbit. Not as conquerors. As guardians. In distant systems, other empires reviewed the footage carefully. They analyzed every second. They studied every movement. And they reached the same conclusion. Humans were not the largest species. Not the most powerful by numbers. But when pushed, they finished wars in 50 seconds. And that was enough.